the most renters in Port Harcourt are young people. How can I put 300 million into something and I'm earning 5 million yearly? Let me go from tenant to landlord. You can have something like that in Nigeria as well. You know what is going from eating 1 square meal to now, I want to build my family house in the village kind of feeling. I spent 20 years abroad and they have just one rental apartment that is giving them headache. If I invest that much, I want more out of it. I put myself in an investor. Many landlords, many investors are leaving a lot of money on the table. A lot. That was exactly what happened with Shotley. Many people did not want to start Shotley until a lot of people started making money from Shotley. Did you see this business model and they say you don't want to do it? Just one person that would have the audacity to say, okay, let me provide the solution, even if no other person is doing it. Just like Dangote. Yeah. In that 250 million people, how many people do you need to be a multi-millionaire? This message needs to be passed.
So you went around Port Harcourt from Port GRA, Ada George, and NTA. When you looked around this size of Port Harcourt, what do you see that most investors don't notice?
Port Harcourt is like one of the biggest cities in Nigeria. Yeah, it's like the third biggest city in Nigeria. Here you will see a lot of things. You will see a lot of businesses. You will see a lot of like establishment, companies. Many people will feel like, oh, everything is already in Port Harcourt. But there are still a lot of untapped green potentials in Port Harcourt that nobody has even touched. It is almost not noticeable because you feel like everything is there. Port Harcourt is a big city now. Yeah. Everything is there. How can this one not be there? How can you say you cannot find this there? But there are a lot of things you cannot find in Port Harcourt. That is one thing I noticed. The second thing is different locations actually have different caliber of people living in it. Exactly. Different age range you can find in it. Like when I went from Peter Deli, entering GRA and then outside GRA to Orizi side, there is just a difference in each of these locations. And this difference can actually show you the kind of people that live in that particular location. There are places that predominantly not young people live there. There are places that young and old people live and also families live. Using this, you can literally know what to do in this market if you just study what is being shown to
the environment.
Yeah.
So if someone gave you 350 million naira today to build, where would you even start and why? Like which of these areas would you start?
Before I even go into anything, I love to see, okay, what do I want out of this? Who do I want to serve? What do they need? And all of that. Yeah. And that's also how I approach even investments. So if someone gave me 300 million naira to say, okay, build, what am I going to build? First of all, I want to know what is in the market. Who are in the market? Who are the most population that actually needs what I want to build right now? From what I've found out in Port Harcourt, the most renters in Port Harcourt are young people. Young people starting out their businesses, young people that are just starting out life, students and all of that. Now I want to find out what those young people want, what they need. What do they actually desire out of this market that is not already there? And that is where I'm going to put my money. And when I have these innovative ideas that not just give me rent, but also supply other solutions that this young population need, oh my God. I don't want to build a way that the only people that can rent this are people that are earning 5 million, 10 million every month. When I am building for young people that are just starting out, like knowing the particular section of the market I want to start, that is exactly how I'm going to.
How you're going to structure your building.
Yeah.
Okay. So what type of tenants actually bring the most stable income?
When it comes to Port Harcourt, the major renters are young people. And they are the ones that know what they need in the market. And they are the ones that usually rent every single time. You will see 10 people looking for apartments. One will find, and the other person is looking for that same apartment. Before you know it, that apartment is gone. It's such an insatiable need.
And I think the reason why it's mostly young people is because every single day they flood into Port Harcourt.
Exactly.
Either for business or for job. Or
exactly. There is a huge migration into Port Harcourt recently. Like you see people that have stayed in Lagos for a while, they just say, no, I can't deal with Lagos, I want to come to Port Harcourt, or they want to go to Abuja. There is a huge influx of young people from different states into Port Harcourt.
So if someone wants to earn daily income, not just rent once a year, how should they think when building?
If you want to earn daily income, think of daily needs. If you want to earn weekly income, think of weekly needs. If you want to earn monthly income, think of monthly needs. But if you are just earning yearly income, you just thought of yearly needs. Do with this information whatever you want.
You always say build for someone, not anyone. What does that mean in simple terms?
You need to have a picture of who you want to build for. I'm investing hundreds of millions into this project. I need to know the outcome before it starts.
Yeah.
I need to know, oh, who is going to rent this? What is their problem? What could be the problem that will arise in these? I don't want to just, oh, I have 300 million, let me just go and build house. And you build just about anything because everybody is building house. You build like every other person is building. What you will get is what every other person is getting in the market. Guy, I don't want to get what every other person is getting in the market. How can I put 300 million into something and I'm earning 5 million more yearly from that? How long will it take me to get my 300 million? When you think about the outcome, you know who you want to build for. Build for that one person. What is that one person's desire? What do they need out of their living condition or their surrounding and all of those kind of things? Using that in mind, even the way you structure your building, even the kind of interiors you do, oh God, it's going to be so detailed. And once someone rents their house, they just know, oh, this house is just for me. When you serve that kind of people, you make more money.
So do you think it's still wise to build rental apartments in 2025, or are there better models now?
There has always been a trend about building for rent. People in 2025 are still building the way it was built in 1998, in 2000, 2001. Forgetting that the market is evolving. It is still a good investment to build for rental properties, but build innovatively. And you know, when we are growing up, most of us lived in rented apartments, and you just be like, oh, one day I'll have a rented apartment like this. And then when you make the money, you just be like, oh, well, let me have my own rental apartment. Let me go from tenant to landlord. Yeah. It is not a bad thing, but know what you want out of that landlordship. Yeah. Because like it or not, there are things that your landlord regret that you don't know. You just need to find it out and do better.
So how can someone mix business and housing in one project, like turning it to a franchise style kind of property?
I was thinking of, oh, if I have a business now, how can I invest for my business in a way that leaves a legacy? And I thought about this idea of just having a kind of building that is a franchise. In America, you see people that own hotel chains, and their businesses are just own hotel chains, and they own it outside of America, in other cities, in other countries, and all of that. There are people that own hostel chains. Wow. Hostel, but there are businesses that just own it. You can have something like that in Nigeria as well. In fact, the housing market needs a lot like that. But you need to start investing first as a business, not just as an individual. And have it at the back of your mind that it is your legacy. And you treat it not just as an investment, as a personal investment, but also as your business investment.
If you could talk to every Nigerian abroad that is planning to build right now, what's the one warning you give them?
Some of the decisions we make are a result of how we grew up or our experiences growing up. Yeah. And for some of the Nigerians abroad, some of them went from being a family that literally eats from hand to mouth, are suffering, to now like going abroad and being the savior of their family. When you grow up like that, you see yourself trying to prove that I have made it. You know what is going from eating one square meal to now I want to build my family house in the village kind of feeling. True. It is an accomplishment. It is a joy, not just for you, but even for your parents, because the thing where they go use brag for. My son, they build house. What God cannot do does not exist. I would recommend that they think not just about proving a point or statues and all of that, to thinking more about longevity as well. Building not just for you, but for your children's children. I have seen a lot of Nigerians abroad that will say that, I spent 20 years abroad and I just have one house in my village and one house in the city, and that is like what I can see. I literally feel that Nigerians abroad can do more and they can do better when it comes to building. Not just stop at the mindset of, let me own it as, this is my house in the village, this is my house in the city, to, you know what? I am spending my time, my energy, hours and hours of time and sweat and blood to make money in another man's country. I want to own things in my country, not just things, but legacy building substance or properties or businesses in my country. So that if you ever want to come back, you're coming back to a lot, not just one thing or two things. You're coming back as someone that brought back something back to his or her fatherland that would live through not just him or his children, but his children's children.
You've worked with people that have spent 100 million, 200 million, 300 million in building. What emotion do you usually see after they finish? Like, is it pride or regret?
It's a mixture of the both. Do you know what it means to hustle, like go from nothing to building a house in Nigeria? It's something to be proud about. A lot of people I've met that they have buildings in Nigeria. They have been abroad for over 10 years and they have just one rental apartment in Nigeria that is giving them headache. Like they poured money into it, but it's not bringing them any other thing but headache. To the point that they just feel like, I want to sell it. That is some of the regrets that I have seen for people that live abroad that have built. Like before you even start building, think about the outcome you want from this building, who you want to serve, how you want this to be, and then move in that direction. It will reduce a lot of the regrets that many landlords that are Nigerians living abroad are facing right now in Nigeria.
That is true. Let's come to you. What's your dream and vision for Port Harcourt investors? Like, what kind of mindset do you want them to have after hearing you say all this?
You know, I usually used to just think about this place I'm living on. This landlord makes how much? I'll calculate. I'm like, to build this house now, you just think you need like around 250, 300, 400 million naira. I'm like, if I invest that much, I want more out of it. I need to get more out of the sweat and blood I'm putting into something. I put myself in an investor's shoe every single time. Many landlords, many investors are leaving a lot of money on the table. A lot. Majorly because everybody is just doing what everybody is doing. Nobody wants to take a risk or do different, like nobody is doing it. I cannot be the first to do it. They just want to see, oh, someone is doing it. Okay, it's working. Then everybody will move. And that was exactly what happened with Shortlet. Many people did not want to start Shortlet until a lot of people started making money from Shortlet. And you just think about it, be like, did you see this business model? And you say you don't want to do it. We just don't want to be the first to do anything. The super rich are the people that are willing to do what every other person is not doing. The middle class are the people that are doing just what every other person has proven to work. And then there are people that are just even afraid to even do what every other person is doing because, are you sure it will work for me? Once many investors start moving from just doing what every other person is doing to looking for a solution that is needed in the market and solving it, they'll make much more money than just about any average investor in the market. I want to do this more often actually because I feel like this message needs to be passed out, you get?
Exactly.
And I wish for a lot of Nigerians and both Nigerians in Nigeria and Nigerians abroad to start literally thinking differently. Not just to survive, but to solve a problem. The market is readily available looking for the solution. Just one person that would have the audacity to say, okay, let me provide the solution, even if no other person is doing it. It just takes that one person. Someone you don't just blows up overnight. It's because they are solving a problem.
Just like Dangote.
Just like Dangote. Just like Otedo. They are solving a problem. That is why they are the richest in Africa. Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa. And once you solve a problem of the most populated country, my sister, in that 250 million people, there is at least 100,000 people that need that solution you are providing. At least 100,000. How many people do you need to be a multi-millionaire? As much as possible, I will provide all of these ideas that I have of you thinking outside the box. And if you need me to even have a one-on-one with you, be like, oh, this is what I want to do and all that, I will do that. Let's think outside the box together. We are in a country that once you solve the right problem, you make the most money.